Welcome to your Real Estate Review with Alan Canis of Engel & Volker's Silicon Valley, your weekly getaway to the pulsating heart of the global real estate market. Join us as we bring you exclusive interviews with top producing real estate agents from around the globe. Whether you're a buyer, a seller, or just a real estate enthusiast, this is your insider look into the pros, cons, and the captivating allure of the world's most sought-after locations. Let's discover where your next dream home awaits. Buckle up for a real estate journey like no other. This is your Real Estate Review with Alan Canis of Engel & Volker's Silicon Valley. Hello, everyone, and welcome to your Real Estate Review with Alan Canis. That's me, of Engel & Volker's Silicon Valley. I am here with the spectacular Scott Piercy from Vancouver Island, Victoria waterfront. Scott, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, great to be here, Alan. Exciting as usual to connect with another partner in the network.
This will be a fun one because we haven't done Victoria, we haven't done Canada at all. So this will be a good one to get. We're going to dive right in. Is that okay?
That's great.
Okay. Scott, would you please tell us how, when, and why you got into real estate?
I got into real estate about 2006. I worked in my family's a hotel, so I was in the hotel business for some time. My father was a developer through the 70s, 80s, and then I started a vacation rental company in early 2000, and the number of people coming to the island and Victoria, big tourism destination, started inquiring about buying homes and realized that I wanted to get into the property management side of things and into the sales side of things. So that's 06 is when I started.
So 2006.
Yeah.
I was right there, right behind you in the middle of 2007.
Great.
So
yeah.
they said if I could make it through then, I could make it through because those were not so great times in 2008, 2009.
No.
So, and proof is in the pudding. We're here.
Yeah, recovered well.
Yes. Would you tell us a bit about your background in real estate and your specific experience with clients relocating, purchasing a first, second, or third home in the Vancouver Island, Victoria waterfront area?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, my partner and I, Jim, worked together for 17 years. We work with all aspects, relocation, second home, third home. It is a big recreational destination for a lot of people, but also a big retirement location for people. So, we get all aspects of that when they come to the city and show them around 13 different municipalities. There's lots to choose from.
With that, there are a lot of unique attractions. So one of my favorite when I was there was Bouchard Gardens. Yeah. So where are you in relations to there? Because that is just amazing.
Yeah, it's an amazing story. So Bouchard Gardens was originally a rock quarry. And they used a lot of rock for building and development out in the area, and then it was converted to the gardens, Bouchard Gardens. So our offices, we have 3 offices in Victoria, one in Victoria downtown, one in the West Shore, and then one in Oak Bay. So we don't have anything out on the peninsula, but that area is phenomenal and some of the best waterfront in Greater Victoria.
Yeah, it was amazing. I have never seen tulips that were 3 feet tall.
Yeah. I don't think you can buy them or afford to buy them. Yeah.
And, talking about attractions, what are some of the unique features or attractions of Vancouver Island, Victoria waterfront that make it appealing destination for people to purchase?
I think access to the water, obviously, you can be to a marina or a yacht club, and fishing, sailing, within 5 minutes, depending on where you live. You can access the Gulf Islands, which is phenomenal. So the boating is probably some of the best in the world.
With the boating, we are all hearing a buzz regarding the Vancouver Island, Victoria waterfront. What do you think, besides boating, is the excitement of why people are purchasing there?
Well, the affordability, I think, for what waterfront goes for Victoria, we've gone from about 1.5 10 years ago up to 3.5 million. For a waterfront home.
Okay.
So there's only about 1,900 waterfront homes in the Greater Victoria area. So it's a limited supply, commodity. And I think that drives a lot. And when you're coming from a larger city like Vancouver or Toronto, where you're 10 million on the water, it's a real it's a bonus.
Oh yeah, we're seeing 10 million on the water is a bargain
Right.
if you live here.
Yeah, I know. I hear that all
Entry
the time.
level.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
How would you describe the current real estate market in Vancouver Island, Victoria waterfront, and what trends should potential buyers be aware of?
It's active. It's very active. After the last couple of years, things have started to pick back up. It's definitely people are motivated. People are looking. During the height, over COVID, everything went bonkers, so to speak.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of purchases. It's leveled back out, but it is very active, and it is a limited commodity. So for people to buy, you got to get in now. It's only going up.
I find that as I've gotten older, and especially being in real estate a little bit longer, each day, the inventory keeps shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. There's just not enough places to build anymore, unfortunately.
No, you can't. It's harder to subdivide, things like that. And, with higher watermarks and things like that, governments are making it harder to get closer to the water.
Yeah. What are some of the common challenges or pitfalls that people face when relocating or purchasing in the Vancouver Island, Victoria waterfront, and how do you help them navigate these?
Like anybody, I think find good builders and dealing with municipal or bureaucracy. So, connecting them with the right builders that have good reputations, that are used to dealing with municipalities, they can get permits and things like that done. And we have other factors in Victoria, Vancouver Island. We have archaeological, First Nations, so we have to do reports on that because that restricts where you can build or what you have to do to build. So there's a lot of different things. Foreshore leases for docks, those aren't automatic. There's only about 130 out of the 2,000 plus lots. 130 are legal, so that's another.
Wow.
And they're hard to come by.
When you say legal, what does that mean?
So that means there's a lease in place, a government lease that you pay annually that runs with the land, and you just renew it every year. But to obtain that now could take 2-3 years, and some municipalities don't even allow it.
Gotcha. And can you give us a sense of lifestyle in Vancouver Island, Victoria waterfront? What are the local communities like, and what kind of amenities may a newcomer expect?
They vary greatly. There's neighborhoods, golf courses on the water, yacht clubs. You can go into an area like outside of Greater Victoria, the Souk region, which is on the water, but the fishing, in a boat, you can be 15 minutes to some of the best fishing in the world. For salmon, spring salmon, coho, halibut, drop crab traps. You go to Gulf Islands for lunch, 20 minutes, you can be on Salt Spring Island in the harbor for lunch. You can fly to Seattle or Vancouver by float plane in 25 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty spectacular. Like I fly down to the Seahawks game in Seattle in 45 minutes.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening here. Vancouver Island, Victoria waterfront is known for its beautiful weather. Can you talk about the climate a little bit?
Yeah, 4 seasons. Summertime, you run an average kind of 20 to 25 Celsius, so 70s to 80s.
Okay.
Fahrenheit. Wintertime, we probably get one snowfall a year for 3 or 4 days, and that locks the city down because nobody knows how to drive there. So it's one of those things. It's quite funny. Yeah, but it's the median temperature is because we're surrounded by water. It never gets too cold.
It's funny here in the Peninsula Silicon Valley, the first rain of the season, people just kind of freeze and they don't know what to do. But after the second or third day, everything seems to be okay. But that first one, and we don't get snow here, we drive to the snow. So I couldn't even imagine if it snowed what people would do.
No, I would not want to be on the streets in that area in the snow. No.
So talking about climate, can you tell us a little bit about the business and economic climate in Vancouver Island, Victoria waterfront?
Victoria is a government town, so very stable as far as, a large middle class, a lot of technology, compared to Silicon Valley, but, about $3 billion a year in business. We do have a lot of offshoots from Silicon Valley and Victoria because of the lifestyle. because of, the outdoors, mountain biking, fishing, skiing, surfing, all of those things are available on the island. It's a great work, live environment. And so we're seeing that technology business kind of integrate more into the local communities because of the lifestyle and the cost of living and things like that. I mean, like you said, the cost difference for some
Yes.
is great.
Well, and now that we can work from home and telecommute, it opens up so many more doors, I've been finding.
Yeah, exactly. So you can spend time in different places.
From your perspective, what are the top benefits for someone considering to move or purchase in the Vancouver Island, Victoria waterfront areas?
Lifestyle, the relaxation, being in the areas, the benefit of, you're 25 minutes to anywhere driving, so you can be anywhere in that time frame, and I think that's a real benefit to coming from a big city or other places. It really is.
It's here. It could take 25 minutes normally, but any amount of traffic, just the littlest glitch, we're an hour and a half.
Yeah, we don't get that.
Yeah.
Unless it snows.
Unless it snows. In what ways do you, as a real estate agent, provide value to someone relocating from another region or state? And how do you differentiate yourself from other agents in Vancouver Island, Victoria waterfront?
I think, the brokerage for one. Ingram Brokers. I was with another brokerage when I first started. I think when we bought our franchise in 2014. First office in Canada. Our business actually grew and started to take off. We've had some of the highest sales in the Greater Victoria area. The longevity and time and networking and leaving our city, understanding different markets like Silicon Valley, Florida. I think this company's really opened that up, and so your understanding of people's wants and needs from other areas really opens up. And I was born and raised in Victoria. So, fourth generation from that, which is very rare. So I know it drives my kids crazy. You know everybody here, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
It's funny that you say it drives your kids crazy. You know everybody. So I come from one of the largest families in Pacifica, which is on the coast.
Right.
Peninsula. And so there's been a Canis going to the local high school since I think 1979. And so my husband and my daughter will say, every time we go somewhere, somebody, they know the Canis name. It's like, well, there's so many of us.
Yeah, that's it.
But they know us in a good way, which is that's the positive.
That is the positive.
Yeah.
So don't ruin it.
Exactly. What is one piece of advice you would give to someone who is thinking about relocating or purchasing in Vancouver Island, Victoria waterfront?
I would say spending time before you buy, really exploring areas, renting a home, exploring, and just taking your time, because there's so many great options. Waterfront, every property is different. And I always recommend, something always comes along. You just have to be patient and wait for it. If it's not right, then don't. And especially when you're spending that kind of money for a premium, it's better just to be patient and wait.
It'll eventually come.
It does.
So
exactly.
What I tell clients, the same thing, is that if you be patient, it will come. It's I forget the name of was it Bull Durham, if you come, they will build it, or they build it, they will come.
Build the dreams, if you build it, they will come.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And I am hearing, and especially even what you've said, that the real estate market in Vancouver Island, Victoria waterfront can be a little crazy. What do you think is causing it? And are you seeing multiple offers?
You're seeing multiple offers, more than 1.5. Like, we're coming back to multiple offers in the 1.5 million range, not on the water. It's getting more competitive. I think what it is, Canada, Canada is the size of California, population-wise.
Yeah.
We have one city, Toronto, that's 14 million, which is about half the population of Canada. When people want to retire, they're coming from there to the nicest climate in Canada. And so you're seeing a huge transition in people moving to the coast for the better climate. The extreme summers and extreme winters of, Toronto are not for everybody, or the prairies. So I think they're, lifestyle and temperatures.
And where do you think most of your relocators are coming from?
It would be Alberta, Toronto, Ontario. The majority from Canada, coming east to west.
So not California.
No, and unfortunately, our illustrious federal government put a 2-year ban on foreign buyers. As neighborly as I like to be, not everybody feels the same way.
I've had clients who I've sold their house in San Francisco or on the peninsula in Silicon Valley, Woodside, and they've relocated to Vancouver or Quebec, but they're not buying. They're just renting. They're just waiting it out.
Yeah, and that does happen. I think it will change. And what we are seeing, though, is we're seeing people with a mixed Canadian American couple.
Yes.
Moving back, so one will buy in their name, and the other will have to risk not being entitled.
That's a risk.
Yeah.
How do you see your area evolving in the next few years, and what impact might that have on new residents?
I think density, like anything surrounded by water. I mean, San Francisco is a great example.
Yeah.
49 square miles. Like we're out land. When you're surrounded by water, you're in a deficit immediately. So density is definitely one of those things. You're gonna have to start building up or pushing into forested land.
Oh, gotcha. And when I was in Victoria, I had some of the best culinary, and I cannot think of the name of the restaurants right now, and I should have had this before the call. I'm hearing more and more that Vancouver Island and Victoria waterfront is becoming more of a foodie destination. Would you tell me a little bit about the culinary experiences that people might find?
Yeah, I mean, it's culinary and beverages too, like microbreweries.
Yes.
Very famous for that, but there's some great restaurants. I mean, seafood, obviously. We've had a couple of larger restaurant not chains, but groups from Vancouver move in with some top culinary like sushi. El Terrazzo is a great Italian restaurant. The Empress Hotel, they've got a great dining room, which is.
We were there for high tea.
Yeah, the most expensive finger sandwiches in the world. Yes. Yeah. But it's worth the experience.
And I've done it twice, so it's definitely worth it. So
so you don't need to eat afterwards.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I didn't know you at that time. So next time we go back, I will be definitely stopping by the office.
Well, let me know, because we have a family hotel in Victoria as well, so we can set you up with a great friends and family rate.
Oh, okay. What are the key factors individuals or families should consider when relocating to a new area in terms of real estate?
I always look at it equity, security. And I know that's, not everybody looks at it that way.
Yeah.
And making sure the house fits for resale. It's great to have it, and you've got 3 bedrooms, 1 child, and go to sell. Well, 4 bedrooms might be better. It might be better to have, that extra room when you go to resell. There's a lot of different things. But neighborhood definitely is, gentrification or what's happening. Sorry, I've got something flying around.
Well, and I always say you can change everything about a property except for its location.
That's right.
So,
location, it has to be right. And again, finding the right one for the right family.
And how has the real estate market changed in the recent years, particularly with regards to relocation trends?
It's a big part of our market, relocation. Definitely people moving, just with demographics and age. We're seeing a lot of people relocate, and for lifestyle too.
And for lifestyle.
Yeah.
And how do you think technology and online resources has impacted how you are selling real estate?
Oh, I think it's really helped. The virtual tours, the virtual tour meetings, walking people through a home before they even come out. I think it really helps prepare for people arriving. When they get there, you can know a lot about it. They can get a lot of facts. I mean, most people know as much as a realtor by the time they get there because of the amount of information on the internet. So I think it really helps.
So this question I didn't put on the form because I always ask this question at
Sure.
the end. And do you have a favorite real estate story you would like to share?
Yeah, I do actually.
Okay,
It's,
go.
it's and it's within the company. And in Victoria Island is we don't have a lot of high-end properties, but all the travel experience my partner Jim and I have done, we're asked to list a home. And we came up with a price, $23.5 million. All the other, realtors in town were kind of like, sure, whatever. All right. So we ended up putting that out through our private office network with England Volkers. Maggie Thornhill from our Bristol office sent it out to 3 people on a Sunday night. She got a text at 2 in.the morning from her client from Silicon Valley, and he was like, I want this property. And the funny thing about it is he was looking for a ski chalet. Well, this is a home on water with a 300-foot dock. They're like 15,000 square feet. So, okay, Maggie, when do you want to come and see it? And I went downtown and met with another client who was looking for a waterfront property, had drinks with him, showed him a penthouse. I said, you should take a look at this property. And he went out and looked at it. And so in the first week, we had competing offers.
Wow.
On the property. It sold with an unconditional offer from the Silicon Valley buyer with Maggie Thornhill because the other client could not liquidate capital quick enough to make the deal happen. So that deal happened within 3 weeks, full price, and it was done within our own brokerage without even going on MLS.
Wow. Congratulations to you and Maggie. Love Maggie.
Yeah, and Maggie's phenomenal. I mean, it really goes to show this brokerage and the 70-digit separation. I always joke with Max, who was head of private office. I go, it's 1 degree. He goes, it's actually 2. I go, no, it's 1. So, but it's amazing. I still get the goosebumps when I talk about it because it's like, we know what we know, and we know it because we're part of something that makes it so that we can know. And it's phenomenal.
That's a terrific story. Thank you for sharing that.
No, my pleasure. I love sharing that.
I have to tell you, that's probably, you were so quick on it, and probably one of the best success stories that I've heard so far on the podcast. Sorry, everybody that's been listening.
You go through your career and something happens, and it's like, okay,
yeah,
we do know what we're doing.
Well, Scott, I want to thank you for being on the show, and anyone who is thinking about relocating or has questions regarding Vancouver Island, Victoria waterfront, you need to call Scott Piercy. He is the person. And Scott, thank you so very, very much.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure.
This has been your real estate review with Alan Canis. Again, that's me, of Engel Volkers, Silicon Valley. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.